Hello everyone, welcome. Welcome to this very special session. Now today is a very special day. Why? Because today is 12th January, the birth anniversary of one of the greatest philosophers and social reformers, Swami Vivekanand. Now, I was thinking about you guys, students who are at this juncture at different points in their life. And I thought how Swamiji's teachings are so much relevant for you at this point. You see, today at this juncture, it's an interesting juncture. Today, some of you are targeting the upcoming IBPS PO mains exams. Some of you are preparing for the next year exams, are thinking of preparing for the next year exams. And some others would be thinking about making out a career of their own in the industry or building their own enterprise. So, what message or which messages of Swamiji would be relevant for all of us? This is a juncture where every student is at different direction, is focusing towards a different direction. So, would there be messages which would be relevant for all of you? And then I went on researching and found out that yes, Swami Vivekanand's teachings would be relevant for all of us today also. So, in today's special session commemorating Swami Vivekanand's birthday, we are going to learn from Swamiji's message 3 lessons of our life. And these 3 lessons would be directed towards what? Exam preparation, guidance of our career, how Swamiji's messages are relevant for career, and how Swamiji's messages are relevant for living a healthy life. And I'll not stop at that. I would also do bonus lessons also, because those are those lessons which are close to my heart and those lessons which I have learned from his messages and incorporated in my life. Right. At the end, I would give those bonus lessons. So let's start. Let's start with the exam preparation. Lesson 1, exam preparation. Now, what I would do is that I would take Swamiji's quotes and would see how relevant they are in different positions, in different stages of our life. For example, while preparing, he had said, experience is the only teacher we have. We may talk and reason all our lives, but we shall not understand a word of truth if we don't experience. Now see, for you guys who are looking for preparing for exam, both those who are taking this year's IBPS PO mains exam and those who are targeting the next year's exams or upcoming any other exams. For you, what is experience? Experience is your practice. For the upcoming IBPS PO mains, what is experience? Practice. Now, practicing mocks would be more specifically an important experience for you. Why? Because there you would do the mistakes. There you would understand where you are going wrong, and on the basis of that learning, you would excel in your actual test. Similarly, for those who are targeting exams that are yet to come, there is time to come, for them, practicing the concepts that they learn by themselves, applying those concepts in solving questions, that is primarily important, because the learning would happen from there. Yes, when your teacher explains you a concept, you understand the concept, but you imbibe the concept when you practice it. Got it? So see, this message is so relevant for anyone who is preparing for exam. Now, on the D-Day, the exam day, and this is more so relevant for all of those people who are having exam in the next 2-3 weeks. There is a quote of Swamiji that resonates. It's as if it is for you guys. I'll show that to you. All power is within you. You can do anything and everything. Believe in that. Believe in that. Do not believe that you are weak. Believe you are strong. See, it's such an important message for all of us. Right? It's obviously the message is relevant for all of us, for you, for me. But for people who are going to take exam in the next 2 weeks, what is the most important weapon in your arsenal? Let me tell you. What is it? Self-belief. And that is what Swami Vivekanand has also said. right? So relevant. I tell you na, that on the day of the exam, you should feel that you are Superman. Obviously, that doesn't mean that you can fly, but what it means is that you are a decisive person. If you look at a question and feel that you can do it, you do it, try and do it, and then you feel that no, this question is something that is taking a lot of your time, you decide very, very strongly to leave it. If you are able to do that question, you will decide very, very strongly to mark it. Right? So that strength of decision will only come when you believe that you are strong. You are not weak, my friend. Okay? Right? So these were the two messages that are relevant for anyone who is preparing for exam. Now, lesson number 2 for career. Some very important career guidance tips. If you look at some of his quotes, we find that they are so relevant for our career. While working, while you work, some of you would be working in a bank, some of you would be working in an administrative position or an organization in a managerial role. So while working, one thing you need to understand, if you want to excel, when you are doing any work, what Swamiji says, when you are doing any work, do it as worship, as the highest worship, and devote your whole life to it for the time being. Now, this is very important. This quote of his is often misunderstood. He is not saying to devote your whole life to one particular work. No. What he is saying is that whenever you are doing something, your 100% focus and concentration should be to that. And this is relevant for our question solving also, in our exams also. You know what happens in our exams? We get distracted. We are doing a question and we are thinking about something else. And therefore, our 100% of our mind and concentration is not inside that question, and it leads to our reading that question again and again. Happens, na? Right? Because we are not focusing when you are reading it first. So, we understand it after multiple readings. And this also happens in logical reasoning, that we are not able to solve it because our whole focus concentration is not there. So, when you are doing, let's say you have given 2 minutes to a particular question. Those 2 minutes, nothing else matters in this world. Only you and the question matters. Right? That's what this message means. Right? Now, another very important message, I told you from the perspective of exam, because you will understand it better, but in the perspective of career also, the last message, while working wala message, is so relevant. If you want to excel in your professional life, when you are doing something, do it with 100% sincerity. That's what it means. Work management. Now, a lot of people out of you might be thinking of going for a job, or you have cleared an exam and you are going for a job, right? So how do you manage your job? Now, while working, you would be sincere, but how do you balance your life and work? Now, here, another message of Swami Vivekanand is so relevant. He says, both attachment and detachment perfectly developed makes a man or woman great and happy. So simple, but so deep. He says, should be attached. What does it mean for us from career perspective? That we should be attached to the job, right? At hand. A job has been given to us, a work has been given to us, we will be sincere and will be doing it. We are attached to the job. But we should be detached from the organization, the results, right? From our boss, okay, or our colleagues. Detached doesn't mean that you should not be talking with them. No. But, if you have sincerely done your job, what they think about you, if it is not a positive feedback, if it is not a feedback which is real, which is true, should not matter. You have to practice detachment, because a lot of time in the working world, there would be people who would be envious of you. They would be pointing out the negatives just for the sake of it, just to reduce your morale. Right? We cannot allow them to do so. This is so relevant for people who are working, for people who are going to work. Right? Lesson number 3, life lesson. Right? Now, we started with exam, then career, then life. Now, relationship is a very important part in our life. Now, Swamiji's very simple observation of relationship is in this quote. And see how amazing it can change our outlook towards our relationship. 3 golden rules. Who is helping you? Don't forget them. Who is loving you? Don't hate them. Who is trusting you? Don't cheat them. As simple as that. If we can follow these 3 golden rules, we would have a character which would be upright. And we would not anyways never have that guilt feeling. So this is I suppose is a bedrock of a relationship. If we can follow these 3 golden rules, we would ensure that in relationships we would be amazing. The next thing, and a very important thing, more so in today's scenario of waves and waves of pandemic, right, is health. Swamiji was a huge proponent of good health, and I will show you what he says about health. The sign of vigor, signs of life, the sign of hope, the sign of health, the sign of everything that is good is strength. As long as the body lives, there must be strength in body, strength in mind, and strength in hand. Such a big statement. You normally don't associate such statements from monks, right? Monks are all about meditation. Monks are all about the internal understanding. But no, Swami Vivekanand, went to this extent, saying that if you want to go to heaven, play football. Right? So that's the importance that he gave to human body. Yes, the spirit, the mind is important, but the manifestation is in the body, he used to say. So your body has to be cared for, and the body has to be strong, right? So and today it is so relevant. See, after the COVID pandemic coming again and again, we are seeing that our health is the biggest wealth that we can possibly have. So if that health is not there, nothing else matters, right? Okay. So a healthy life is equivalent to a happy life in most of the cases, right? So these were the 3 lessons that I wanted to share with you through Swami Vivekanand's august quotes and messages. Now time for bonus. Now these bonus lessons are 2 of my favorite quotes of Swami Vivekanand, more so because I follow them. I'll show that to you. Innovation. Those who know me, those who have studied under me, they know that I try to build up new things, new ways of doing things. But the journey had not been so easy. At the start, when I started my career and I started doing these things, these innovations, students loved it, but my bosses didn't, right? They ended up, stopping me a lot of times on doing what I wanted, right? So what I learned, and this is where Swami Vivekanand's this quote helped me a lot. Each work has to pass through these 3 stages: ridicule, opposition, and then acceptance. People who do not understand would ridicule. People who are afraid would oppose, because those who do not understand and those who are afraid, there is an intersection. And then those people who love the effect of your work, they would accept. And later on you would see those who feared, those who ridiculed, they are also accepting your work. But it will take time, right? So, and this is more so for people who are innovating. Those who think ahead of their time are sure to be misunderstood. So what should they do? They should put their hands in the pockets and stop innovating. Then the world would stop developing, na? Right? They cannot do so. Right? So they should know that this is going to happen. Okay. So if you are one of those innovating kind, remember Swamiji's this message, because this would keep you going when the times are not so bright. Okay? And the last one, and the most important one, closest to my heart, is me time message. Me time message? Let me show this to you. Swamiji says, talk to yourself once a day. Otherwise, you may miss meeting an excellent person in the world. How deep this message is, tell me. How beautiful this message is. One of the most excellent person you know in this world is you, yourself. So meet with yourself once a day. Talk to yourself once a day. And when I say talk to yourself, that doesn't mean that gossip with yourself. Gossip with yourself about how bad that person is or how worse this guy is. No. Talk to yourself, about how you did something different today, how innovatively you thought something. So these things would give you a kick. These things would, make you feel alive. Right? These things would make you feel the exceptionality that you have in yourself. So that's why this is one of my favorite ones. Okay, right? So these were some of the quotes that I wanted to share with you on today's occasion commemorating Swami Vivekanand, and show to you how his messages, how his teachings are relevant even today, even in our times, even in our lives. And finally, I can tell you only one thing. How can we honor these great men? People would say that we should build something on them, we should have sermons on them and stuff like that. Yes, that might be one way of honoring them. But the biggest way of honoring them? The biggest way of honoring them is by following in our lives their teachings, by incorporating what they taught us in our own lives. And then we would see what we are today and what we have become tomorrow. It's like a huge difference between that, in the positive sense, obviously. Okay, take it. So that will be all for today. Thank you very much and all the best.